my channel. I'm Tia and I upload 4 times a week, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. I do mostly synthetic wig related content here. So if that's what you're looking for, then you have found the channel for you. Yeah, you have found it for you. Yeah, that makes sense. But today I have a special video for 2 reasons. I am so excited to be in my little filming space. I have a filming space for when I review wigs, but I wanted a space like that I could do lives in and that I could just do these sort of Wigs 101 type videos. And I made this little space up. These are my little wig heads that are mounted. Yeah, there's a whole video on my setup, but I got my little wigs here and my little background. I got a new ring light just for this occasion, so I'm super excited. Let's talk about the topic at hand. I am going to do a disclaimer because I just have a feeling I am going to get some comments, and that's totally fine. I am biracial. I am half white, half black. Most of my family is Polish. I was born in Germany. I was born overseas. I feel like I can speak on this topic rather intelligently and also from experience, being that I have lived in both worlds. So the topic for today is there a difference between wigs for white women and wigs for women of color? And I really did think about the answer to this topic, so let's get into it. I feel like the answer to this question is yes, but really no. And I'm saying that because I feel like that in terms of marketing, there is a clear difference between what is marketed towards women of color and what is marketed towards white women, Caucasian women, lighter skinned women. I do feel like some of it is because there's going to be particular niches based on preferences and also hair textures and colors and things like that. But I think unfortunately, the way that it's marketed is, if I was a white woman, I would not necessarily understand, know, believe, if I wasn't a wig wearer, that wigs that are marketed primarily to women of color could also work for me. I try to make sure that I indicate in my reviews now whether I feel like it could be a multicultural wig. I also make sure to describe the texture in a way that if you're looking for a wig to mimic your natural hair, that you would understand whether or not that would do that. I feel like a lot of the marketing techniques are more made for the, not more, because, you know, we're not even going to get into a whole thing about marketing and the psychology behind marketing. I do feel like, though, marketing, when it's separated with regard to skin color, hair texture, I do feel like on some level it's supposed to be for the ease of the buyer, but unfortunately I feel like companies could actually expand their buyer market if they expanded their mind and their campaigns and things like that. We're not going down that rabbit hole. That's just my 2 cents. I feel like companies and sites that are targeting mostly white women or Caucasian women, you're going to see are going to be like Jean Reno, Belle Tress, Gabor, Powder Room D, Wigs.com, Wigs, Raquel Welch. I'm not saying that they exclusively, but their niche market is going to be more of a Caucasian, a white woman. They're going to have a more expansive choices with regard to lighter hair colors, different blonde mixes, different auburns, those nuances. I do feel like on those sites, they are primarily marketing towards a lighter skinned woman. I might catch flack for saying this. For someone who has collaborated with Wigs, who has collaborated with Wigs.com, who has collaborated with companies who do have a broader range of wigs that could work for Caucasian women, white women, I do feel like sometimes they do tend to be overpriced. I don't know that necessarily the quality is the same. I mean, a lot of them have sort of that monotop. They have a cap construction that might be desirable, especially if you have some issues with your scalp, if you're going through any type of cancer treatments, if you have alopecia. Those monocaps tend to just be more comfortable. However, you can find the same comfort in other types of wigs. Yes, I feel like you are getting what you pay for, but the synthetic wig game is just getting better you know, all the time. So I don't necessarily feel like some of the wigs are worth what they're wanting to charge. Again, that's just my 2 cents. Plus, I never like to buy a wig over $25, so, you know, that's coming from me. Overall, I do feel like women of color have more choices as to what is marketed to them. There's so many companies that I have reviewed wigs for where the marketing is primarily women of color. You have, you know, your Motown Tress, Janet Collection, Shake and Go Hair, which is Free Tress, Made Beauty. I mean, I could go on and on. Bobby Boss. I do feel like there is, in terms of difference, really the accessibility and the marketing style is going to be more prevalent for women of color. I do think that the difference in wigs for women of color versus women who are white or Caucasian, even Asian, is going to be like texture. I think if you are looking for a wig that is going to mimic your hair texture, there are more wig companies who have textures in that textured hair, the relaxed hair, the yaki textures are going to be more natural, coarser hair textures, curlier hair textures. So I do feel like that is more readily available. However, that's why I feel like I always indicate whether it's a multicultural option, because I think because you see the wig, if you are a Caucasian white woman and you see a wig on someone that is not a Caucasian white woman, I believe, this could be wrong, that the assumption is that that hair texture is not meant for you because your hair would be so much different than their hair, you know, and vice versa. I think women of color are a little bit more flexible when it comes to just like experimenting. These are my opinions, you know, take it or leave it. But I do see that women of color, especially wig reviewers or longtime wig wearers, you know, they're kind of more open in terms of like, I wear a wig and I don't care. I think the other thing that's going to be any type of difference is the root color. I find that wig companies that cater more to women of color, if they have like a blonde, if they're blonde hair and then they have like a rooting like this one, the rooting tends to be a number 2. It tends to be a number 1. You can occasionally get a number 4. I feel like if you're trying to blend it with your natural hair and you have darker hair naturally, that's great. I think if you are someone who has naturally an auburn, a blonde, or even a very light brown hair, those root colors are going to be slightly problematic. I do feel like you can find those more in companies that cater towards women who are Caucasian or white. So yeah, overall, that's my 2 cents on this topic. I'm really interested to open up a dialogue and see like what you think about that. I feel fortunate because I'm biracial and I think that I can wear wigs on both sides of the spectrum. I really try to do that. I really try to bring a variety of wigs to my channel just so that I'm doing the best reviews and giving you the best information possible. I hope that I'm opening up some horizons in that just because, you know, the model on the stock card doesn't look just like you, whether you're a woman of color or you're a Caucasian, white woman, Asian woman. Just because that woman doesn't look just like you does not mean that the wig is not made for you or that you couldn't rock the wig or slay the wig or do whatever you wanted with the wig. Yeah, that's what I have for you on this topic. If you have thoughts, if you have feelings, if you have things to add, go ahead and please put that down below. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. If you have, thanks so much. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!